Hi, I'm Matthew.
And I'm Evan.
And we're two film enthusiasts dead set on reviewing the most high-quality movies known to man. Today we have a true treat for you guys, and that is the movie Joshua and the Promised Land, written, produced, and directed by the legend himself, Jim Lyon.
Now, Joshua and the Promised Land, it's a bit of an enigma of a movie. It starts off with Joshua. He's a lion cub.
Yes, anthropomorphic lion cub.
Yeah, and he lives with his two parents, who are both lions. But there's some abuse going on between them, so Joshua takes blame for that abuse or something, and he gets sad.
Yes, Joshua is very sad, and the movie actually gets a really good point across to children in that if there is domestic abuse going on in your household, it is 100% your fault, and you should take the blame. I think that's really one of the themes that really enhances the movie.
Yeah,
right?
Great lesson to be learned.
So anyways, Static Man comes along. It's a character that doesn't really have a name, but has a very staticky, anthropomorphic animation. Beautiful as it is, it's intentionally staticky, probably.
Mm-hmm. And so Static Man comes along while Joshua is sobbing in his room, and he gives Joshua the trance to be brave and transport him into the Exodus story. Don't know how, but he just grabs Joshua by the hand, snaps his neck, and they fly through the roof and go into the Exodus story, basically.
Yep, there's really no explanation at all for who Static Man is or where he has been granted these divine magical powers, but that really goes to allow for some interpretation in the film, which, as you'll see in the upcoming minutes, is really a big theme for our analysis of the movie. One of the things we really love about it is the fact that Jim Lyon leaves so much up to the imagination.
Yes, it truly is beautiful.
So they make it into the Exodus story, and immediately they're greeted by a beautifully animated wall of fire.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
And if you're familiar with the Exodus story, you'll know that Ramesses was giving pursuit to the Hebrews across the lands as they were fleeing Egypt. And God summoned a wall of fire to block them.
Well, but this one, it's not much of a wall and more of just a still image. But I really like that take on it. It gives like a whole new interpretation of what it actually is.
The fortification of God's power. It requires no real animation, just a cut-out stock photo of fire.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Really provides some enhancement to the animation of the film.
And so after that, we see Joshua get put into the city where we see immediately Moses starts to part the Red Sea. And it's this next shot, it's so amazing.
Truly, it's difficult to describe. I watched the movie through with Evan here, and there was just this connected feeling of awe, the inspiration that we received from it. It was magnificent.
I felt like I was there.
In order to escape the Egyptians, Moses parted the Red Sea. It's a very familiar story. But Jim Lyon's take on this, the way that he did it, is so utterly beautiful.
Yes.
We see Moses raise his staff into the air, and then the water, I don't want to call it water, because I really feel like that's not doing the film justice. It's not water. It's
more of, it looks almost like this slime.
An amorphous blob of blue is what we'll call it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and it just it splits in two.
Well, it doesn't really split. It's just the middle kind of sinks down.
It splits in two. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. But anyway, Joshua, ecstatic by what just happened, he runs down this trail, jumping, extremely excited as the rest of...
Very overjoyed
Yes.
that the Hebrews are going to escape. The Hebrews that he met maybe a few minutes ago. He feels very, very emotionally connected to them. And it's some really great pacing and character development there. So the Hebrews make it through the wall of water, the parted Red Sea, and get to the other side.
Yes.
And of course the wall of fire is let down, or rather it's moved to the other side where it sits.
Mm-hmm.
It
kind of just like hovers away. It's again, it leaves so much to the imagination, and it's truly a beautiful take on it.
Yes, I love Jim Lyon's lack of use for the delete button. Instead of making things fade away or disappear, he simply moves them so that only half of them are on the screen now. And so it really allows for some interpretation of, man, what's the deeper meaning behind that?
Yeah.
Maybe God was tired and he just didn't want to completely get rid of the wall of fire, but
maybe.
rather move it. And as they're passing through the Red Sea, we're greeted with a truly beautiful, beautiful scene.
Yeah. So Joshua, he's running around, or he's walking down this parted path that is just formed as these herd of sheep brush up against him as he's knocked into this sludge that we'll call water. And while he's in here on his hands and knees, somehow still breathing, he sees a hammerhead shark start to dart towards him, and when I told you my adrenaline started pumping in the scene.
It is very intense.
Yes.
Especially the fact that there's literally no other ocean life.
Yeah.
That it's just this one shark. It really...
It gives a sense of isolation.
Fear, just unbridled fear. So Joshua backs out of the ocean, and all of the Hebrews and sheep have magically disappeared, seemingly. Although, turns out that they just moved a little farther down very, very quickly.
Yeah. But anyway, after this, they start to chase Joshua and his people down this parted sea.
The Egyptians, that is.
Yeah. And so Moses promptly closes the Red Sea again, and the agony that you can hear.
The horses neighing, the Egyptians screaming. It's really wonderful.
Yes, it's incredible.
If you're familiar with the story, then you'll know at this point Moses goes to get the 10 Commandments. And as he's returning, walking down from what in the Bible is a mountain, but in this unique interpretation is simply a small divot in the ground, he sees that all of the Hebrews have begun to sin. And with great agony that can be felt through the medium of the screen, it makes you feel what true loss is.
Yes.
Evan, if you'll play that clip.
Yeah, the voice acting is just amazing for this. It really doesn't do it justice without the animation, but here, this is what it sounds like.
No!
Wow.
Incredible. Really just stricken with grief there.
But anyway, Moses then gets hungry. So...
Yep. After he told all the Hebrews not to sin,
yes,
he gets really hungry from walking up that divot in the ground.
Yes.
So he asked Joshua, Joshua, will you go fetch me a quail to eat?
And Joshua, of course, says yes. And with great grace, he runs around, and you don't really see him catch a quail, but you can only assume that he promptly got one and cooked it into this green
slimy
sludge. It's very appetizing, truly.
Yes. Why? I'm not an animated character, but if I were, I would certainly want to eat that.
Yeah. totally.
And once again, that goes back to our theme of interpretation that Jim Lyon has so masterfully incorporated in this movie. You don't actually see him catch a quail; you just see him hopping around and chasing them, because that is the lion's favorite method of hunting, is hopping and then grabbing with their paws.
Yes.
But we get to make that decision for ourselves that Joshua was the one who captured the quail.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting into the end game of the story here, and the Hebrews and Joshua all moved to the city of Jericho.
Yes.
A great city surrounded by beautifully animated walls. It is a stunning sequence. It is inhabited by devil people. Yes, there.
There's devil people, yeah. But they don't really seem to care or mind at all. They're just kind of there. Again, Jim Lyon leaves this up to interpretation for why they're there. We never really get a true answer, but I think that's what makes it so good. But yeah, after that, I think it's the Egyptians. They come back and they want to take the city, right?
No, that's just the Hebrews.
Oh, yeah.
The Hebrews who want to take the city. And in the Bible, there's a great deal of detail about why the Hebrews believe the city belongs to them. But Jim Lyon, he goes ahead and makes the assumption that everybody who sees this movie will already know that, so he gives no exposition whatsoever. So he saves screen time.
Yes,
and
great pacing.
improves the pacing immensely.
Yes.
And the Hebrews just decide to take the city.
Yeah.
And it's completely unexplained. But that, once again, the theme of interpretation, him leaving it up to the imagination. So the Hebrews, they parade around the outer edges of the city, blowing trumpets, and all of the devil people in Jericho think that there are a lot more Hebrews than there actually are, so they get very afraid.
Even though they can clearly see the Hebrews, they are not trying to hide how their numbers at all. But it's just another take on it, which is he takes many creative liberties, Jim Lyon, which makes him such a good movie creator and animator. Creative
liberties that, of course, enhance the story.
Yes,
in a way that only animation can. So the Hebrews and the Jerichoans get into a battle.
Yeah.
This is a fierce battle. The animation of it is immaculate.
Yes. It's very hard to describe because Jim Lyon, he likes to save on resources when he's animating. But it does not take away from the movie.
He never, ever sacrifices quality for cost.
Exactly. Yeah. So, in this next scene, you could tell that he mashed that copy button.
Part of what sounds like chuckles here. We both of us are suffering from a little bit of a cold, and it's causing some very strange coughs.
Yeah.
This movie is nothing to laugh at, I assure you.
Then this the fight scene is just immaculate.
If there's one thing in my life that has ever made me want to learn how to fight with a sword, it is this scene. I wish that I could take myself and plop myself into the hellscape that is the animation and just go to town on those Jerichoans.
Yes, I wish I was Joshua.
Yeah,
because
really.
he is just, it makes him feel, the animation just makes him seem like
he's so real.
Yeah, he's so real, and he's so like graceful the way he fights, but like
he's not a god though.
Yeah, no.
He's a relatable human being. We use the term human very loosely. It's a little bit difficult to tell what he is. We have assumed that he is a lion as he has a mane, but a lot of the other characters really seem to have no,
inspiration for their design.
Yeah, no anthropomorphic structure.
Yeah.
Just kind of two legs and...
Which is a good thing, because Jim Lyon has seemingly created new species to put into this movie.
to better tell his story. You know, the species that we have on Earth cannot fully accommodate the beauty and grace of Jim Lyon's animation.
Yeah.
And therefore he had to create new things to enhance the story. Because, as we know, Joshua and the Promised Land is not a movie to sacrifice quality due to the limitations of this Earth.
Yeah.
Midway through the battle, we are greeted with a beautiful, beautiful visage. If you'd like to describe that, Evan.
Oh, yes. So Joshua and his buddy, we don't really get to know why or how they're buddies. They're fighting as this carriage drawn by two horses start to charge at them. And you can really feel the intensity in this moment when Joshua quickly mounts the horse, seemingly teleporting onto there as they start to ride away. The guy that was in the carriage just doesn't mind, even though they are on two opposing sides of this war. But it's incredible.
And Joshua, of course, prays to God, and God sends 7 giant static mans with big hammers.
Yes.
And then they break down the walls to Jericho and completely level the city. It is the only word that can describe it truthfully is genocide.
Yeah.
Ethnic genocide of the devil people. And thus the Hebrews are gifted Jericho by God, and Joshua is returned home, not in time for dinner, although it was promised, but rather a few years later. A static man offers no apology, and his abusive parents don't seem to mind, but turns out they're not abusive anymore. Domestic abuse is no longer going on in his household.
And we could only assume that domestic abuse is gone because Joshua was gone for 7 years.
Right. Which once again reinforces that point that anytime there's domestic abuse in a household, it is completely the fault of the child.
Yes.
Which is really something we love about Jim Lyon. He tries to get that point across very, very strongly.
A great lesson to be learned.
And so really that sums up the movie. That's
Yeah.
all of it. So now we're going to go into a little bit of detail about what makes it so great and why you should watch it.
Yes. So, to begin, the voice acting, first of all, is just incredible. As you probably heard from that clip that we played of Moses, it's hard to tell how good it is from just listening to it, because it paired with the animation it feels so real. And that's a rare occurrence in most animated movies.
It is without a doubt a transcendent experience.
Yes, completely.
We've talked about the animation a lot already, but that is really the highlight of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Although it does make it a little bit difficult to tell what's actually happening and who's who, because of the character design for almost all of the characters being exactly the same. We are once again allowed the opportunity to interpret Jim Lyon's already vastly interpreted story of Exodus.
Yeah.
And the animation is a facility by which we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
The pacing is another thing that is really, really just great about this movie.
Yeah, like, the movie is only 50 minutes, and they're able to fit the entire story in that 50 minutes, leaving all of the important parts in. You are really able to tell what is happening, even if you haven't read the story before.
Nothing
Yes.
at all. And it's such an easy movie to just jump into knowing nothing because of the human power of interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim Lyon really has a lot of faith in humanity, because you can tell he thinks people all have godlike powers of interpretation,
Mm-hmm.
considering how much detail he actually leaves out of the story.
Yes.
And that faith in humanity is just another thing that makes him such a great animator.
Yeah. I think all the animators should follow into his footsteps, frankly, because I get so bored watching an hour and a half long animated movie when it could just be an hour and I get the same experience.
One downside to Joshua and the Promised Land, on that note, is that now anytime I watch another movie, it's so difficult to enjoy.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Because I'm sitting there watching the movie, and I'm like, this is utter garbage. You know, I'd rather be watching Joshua and the Promised Land. So it has ruined a lot of movies for me, but it more than makes up for it by the relivable experience it gives every single time.
Yeah. It is truly a masterpiece. Now, if you were to look this movie up, it doesn't have that great of a rating, or it would appear to not have that great of a rating. But that is only because you are reading it wrong. For IMDb, I don't know if you know this, but the lower the rating you have, the better it is. It's like golf.
Yes, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
the only...
It's the only possible explanation, really, because this movie is an immaculate piece of animation that is matched by no other. So that 2.2 out of 10 that you're seeing is one of the very, very highest ratings on the entire website.
Yeah.
Or lowest, but that makes it better.
Yes.
Right. So that's enough for us, from us right now. Now we have some special guests to introduce you guys to. Here is our first special guest speaker, Hayden Andrews.
What's up?
A fellow enthusiast of Joshua and the Promised Land. Hayden, could you tell us some of the things that you love most about the movie?
I mean, the animation. It's not something you see a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know, animals being personified.
Well, what we can assume are animals.
Yes, yes.
We can only assume.
that's true. I really love that. I love the story. I love how he's taken something out of Exodus and really just put it to perfection. I think the Lord is smiling down right now, saying, "Thank you, sir, for creating this."
Absolutely.
You know, just the voice acting's really good.
Voice acting. Of course, we were saying the same thing.
The music is astounding.
The score is brilliant.
Yes.
I mean, I could just keep going on and on. It's just overall well put together.
How do you feel about the pacing of the movie?
I think he did a really good job. There's some parts that are slow, some parts that are fast, but they cancel each other out perfectly. So.
That is how movies work. It certainly is. That is how any good pacing should be. It should never ever be just a steady, consistent progression of characters. It should always be either on one side of the spectrum, very, very slow, where the scene contributes nothing to the movie.
Yes.
That is already only 53 minutes in
Yes.
length. Or either like extremely fast paced, no exposition whatsoever.
Yes.
Just character goes from point A to point
All
B.
battle scenes. All battle scenes.
Exactly. Just like that. All right. Thank you, Hayden. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate your take on the movie.
Of course, yeah.
Here we have our second guest speaker, Elijah Brewer. Say hi, Eli.
Hi, how are you?
Eli is, like us, a very big fan of the movie Joshua and the Promised Land. Could you tell
Yeah.
us some of the things that you like about it?
Well, I really like the animation quality. It really highlights Jim Lyon, correct? Jim
Yes,
Lyon?
Jim Lyon.
Jim Lyon's talents, and his voice acting is incredible in the piece. I really appreciate how he exfoliates the Bible in such a way.
That is a proper usage of that word. It sure is. How do you feel about the pacing of the movie? That's been a big topic for our podcast thus far.
I feel like he could slow it down a little bit, but
No, you feel like it's perfect, right?
well, in a way, I guess it's perfect.
Eli. Yes. There you go.
That's right. It's perfect. Thank you. You have anything else good to say about the movie?
The battle scene. Battle
Yeah.
scene
Oh,
was
that's a
probably
good one.
That's a
the
good one, yeah.
best scene in animation history I've ever seen before.
Evan and I were just talking about how that's actually made us pursue sword fighting. We're taking classes now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I understand. Jim Lyon does inspire many hearts.
He's inspirational in many, many ways.
He is, truly.
Mm-hmm. Well, any more questions?
That's all. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I'm glad you think that Joshua and the Promised Land is a perfect movie. where literally nothing could be done better.
Nothing could be done better.
You-
It is perfect.
That's right. Okay, thank you. Bye, Eli.
Bye.
And now we have a very, very special guest for you.
Colin first.
That's right. Evan is calling him up right now. Oh, Mr. Lion? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, Mr. Lion. It's such a pleasure to get to talk to you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day.
I run a very busy schedule. I'm a busy man, but anything to, further the development of two young, bright minds.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. So we had just a few questions for you. What was the actual process for making the film?
I would just go to bed every night, and I would get visions, and I believe that God Himself wanted me to make this movie, because He would send me the visions, and I would wake up in a panic, and I would go and run, and I would animate them just like that, and it would be just exactly like the visions.
Wow.
That is truly incredible, and we can certainly tell that there was some divine inspiration there, because it is a wonderful, wonderful movie.
Yeah, many have claimed that it is. I mean, there's a lot of hatred for it on the internet I've seen, but some people just don't understand God's divine influence.
Yeah.
Definitely, for sure. And what was the process for recruiting voice actors?
They tended to receive the same visions as well. And they would say, "Go seek out Jim Lion," and they did. And then that's who I got to play my roles.
And they're definitely very talented, so we can see why God would have chosen them of all people. And we were just talking with one of our special guests about the fight scene that you animated.
Yeah.
And that is one of many, many inspirational scenes. The fluidity of the animation and the raw passion felt in the screams of each side is truly incredible. Was that another one of your visions?
Yeah, I mean, the entire movie was a vision. There wasn't a single thing in that came from my mind. It was all, well, I guess they all came from my mind because, they were my visions, but, none of them were originated from me. That one was the one that took the most time. It took me a solid, 4 months to animate that scene alone. I had to get all of it just perfect. And it really paid off. I mean, I believe I got 7 Oscar nominations just for that scene alone.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
Evan and I here have actually started taking sword fighting lessons so that we can maybe achieve that same level of greatness, because it was awe-inspiring, to say the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to have influenced you and your pursuit in filmmaking.
Thank
Perhaps one day you guys will be able to create a film that's, or not a film, what's the best word? A prophecy so great as Joshua in the Promised Land was.
you. It would be the greatest honor of my life. And it has been
Okay.
such an honor to have you on our show, Mr. Lion. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, yeah.
You're so welcome, Matthew and Evan.
Wishing you all the best from Georgia. Bye.
All right, thank you. Goodbye.
So that's going to sum up our podcast for today. Special thanks to Jim Lion, Hayden Andrews, and Eli Brewer for joining us and talking a bit about the film. And please, I implore you, all go watch the movie right now, just start to finish, because it is truly a masterpiece.
You will love it.
Last thoughts, Evan?
Thank you for listening. This has been great, and I hope you all enjoy this masterpiece as much as we did.
All right, bye.